Welcome to the Keeping You On Stage podcast. Join us as we dive into the vibrant world of dance, sharing our insights and experiences while spotlighting the incredible talents within our community. Each episode features engaging conversations with guests who bring their unique expertise and stories to the table, enriching our understanding of this beautiful art form. Our motto, Keeping You On Stage, drives our mission to celebrate and uplift dancers of all backgrounds. Whether you're a beginner, a seasoned performer, or a passionate enthusiast, this podcast is your backstage pass into the dance world. Tune in and let's keep the spotlight shining bright. Welcome back to the Keeping You On Stage podcast.
We're your hosts,
Hailee
and Brooke, and today we have an amazing guest whose energy is completely contagious. She's a mom of three, a powerhouse in the fitness world, a social media force, and the co-creator of one of the most empowering fitness platforms or movements out there, High Fitness. If you've ever been to a High Fitness class, chances are she's the reason you're hooked. I know I am. We are so excited to welcome the incredible Emily Nelson.
Thank you so much
for
Thanks for
being
coming.
here. Thank you. Just a little bit about Emily. Emily Nelson is an award-winning fitness instructor, presenter, and business owner. Her love of movement began as a competitive dancer, drill team member, and head cheerleader. Growing up in Utah in a very active family, outdoor adventure and zest for life were part of her everyday experience. After teaching dance for many years and earning a degree in broadcast journalism from BYU, I didn't know that. It was when she moved to Canada that her love for movement and inspiring others blossomed into a passion for group fitness. As a newlywed, a new mom, and a newcomer to a different country, she discovered that blending her love for dance with the joy of group fitness became the spark that defined her life's purpose. Emily's unique blend of talents, passion for inspiring others, and dedication to creating engaging and transformative fitness experiences led to the development of the High Fitness brand, which has been a staple in the fitness world for over 10 years and counting. As co-owner, creator, and CEO of High Fitness, Emily has traveled the country training fitness enthusiasts and spreading her love for movement and her empowering message. As an eating disorder survivor and advocate, she is committed to fostering both the physical and mental well-being of her participants. Her true superpower and the driving force behind everything she does, she strives to bring joy and enthusiasm to every session, ensuring that each participant feels her passion for fitness and the positive energy it brings to life. Emily, welcome again to the show. We know that your schedule is so packed, and so really we are so grateful that you would fit in a little blip of time for just us. So, okay, let's dive right in.
Yeah.
We've wasted your time already, I feel like. So, okay, take us back to the early days to walk us through what it was like being Emily as a younger Emily. Where did you dance? Just start there and how you gained your love of dance.
So I was actually a very shy child. I know, it's shocking. But I remember I'm the youngest of 5 kids, and I have 3 older sisters and a brother. So all my sisters kind of danced in various ways of some sort, whether it was classic ballet, some did like ice skating, some danced a little bit in high school, like dance company or drill team, kind of a lot of that. And then my parents finally got a son, and they were like obsessed with because he's playing sports. And I get it now because I finally got the son
after the dance.
And then there's me who was like full steam ahead on dance, but like they're like, oh, are we over this yet?
No.
They were nice still, but so I was actually a pretty shy kid. I remember my sisters would have like dates come over, and I would hide. And I really think it was dance that got me out of my shell, because I feel like from about, 2nd or 3rd grade on, I was not very shy after that. And I think honestly, like dancing and all of that, just did that. So I grew up dance to start high. She was the first person that let me rent out her studio. So I feel like that bond, and you guys know the teachers that you have, the coaches that you have, it's that. And I loved it. I always had a positive experience. I feel like
what it's all about.
a bad memory. So like I'm going off of what I remember from it. I made some of my lifelong dear friends, which allowed me, to cultivate dance. I wouldn't say I was the best dancer, but I had a lot of stage presence. I still use that to my advantage. I really do think like I always was loving it. So like that stage presence always like put me in different positions where I'm like, I may not have the flattest splits or the biggest kicks, but I did always love it, and I found joy through it. And then I think just growing up dancing, it was a different time, man. We had a good time. I think my mom paid like $75 a month. We went like 10 hours a week or less. I don't know. It was great. But that led me to do high school drill team. I did cheer and stuff. The funny thing about my bio is my business partner was helping me write this a long time ago. We like to do each other's a little bit.
I love that.
She kept saying, "You were a head cheerleader." I was like, in junior high. And she kept be like, hey,
Who cares?
to her, she's Canadian. So
Oh.
her, like,
I love
accomplishment.
that.
I don't, but you're right. You shouldn't downplay that at that
Yeah.
time in my life. That was a big deal.
It
And
is
you
a big
were
deal.
a leader,
At least,
14, 15 years old,
and that's
right?
what my junior high, when you're a head cheerleader, you also were like an SBO.
Did you go to Bountiful? Or
I went to Bountiful Junior and then I went to Beaumont.
okay.
And
That's how I remember you.
yes,
It's from Bountiful Junior.
I know, it's a small world. So then I tried out for the drill team, and I kind of loved it. Beaumont back in the time, they only let you do junior and senior year. They didn't allow sophomores or ninth graders. And it's so crazy now because they do start ninth grade. And I'm
I
like,
know.
are they going to die by the time? Like, it just was such a different world. But those are some, like when I went to a couple of years ago, I went to my 20-year high school reunion. Those are the people I wanted to see.
Oh,
that were
yeah.
on the drill team with me. Like, those are friendships that, like, it doesn't matter if I haven't seen them the time that's passed. And that's why I'm so passionate about my oldest daughter started high school this year.
Oh,
and she
my
actually
goodness.
did dance company as a ninth grader and then this year. And I'm like, I don't care about what you're doing or if you're doing drill team, dance company, but those that in high school to be a part of the team
Oh,
and
yeah.
to feel that camaraderie and have those friends of different ages. Her best friend on the team last year was a senior.
Oh my
And
goodness.
she
love
their
that.
spirit bell. She was like twice, like the senior was like this tall. My daughter was tall. They
Cute.
were best friends. And I'm like, those are the relationships you remember. And that's what made high school fun for me.
For sure.
We didn't win back in the day. The Vikels did not win, but we had a good time.
Yeah.
We were actually the dance company and the drill team back then. And that was fun because it was just such more variety. So
Mhm.
I remember graduating from high school. I was like, okay, I'll go try out for Brett's. You know, I was going to I got into BYU, and academics was a huge part for me. Like, I just always got good grades. Like, it was a priority for me. So I was going to BYU, and then I like took some privates, and then I was getting ready. I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. Like, I'm so sick of like waking up early. You know, I don't know. It just felt really stressful. I'm not saying I don't think I would have made it anyways, but I'm just saying I just kind of got to a point. I was like, you know what? I just want to be a college student. But once I got to college, this is the coolest thing. But in Provo, I found this dance studio. And I don't know, Jive. It's called Jive. And it was like in the basement of the Sinclair, right off of Utah Valley University, literally.
Okay.
And it's now knocked down for other things. And they had adult dance classes.
Fun.
And we actually full on performed at concerts.
That's
like,
so
I'm talking full
cool.
costumes.
Oh,
And there were sometimes pregnant girls. So it was like the younger kids all have it. And now I think about it, I'm like, that's kind of weird. But they actually still do it. They still have adult
that
dancers.
is so
So like,
fun.
as we do technique, we performed, we got our spray tans, we did our hair,
Yeah.
the makeup, and we had like several routines. I remember being married to Hank, and like I
my
still did
gosh.
one.
That's awesome.
Honestly, it was so fun because it was like low key, but I still got to dance.
Yeah.
I moved to, my husband got a job in Canada in 2007, which is what moved us up there. And that's when I
Okay.
began my career in fitness.
Okay.
So that's kind of when I pivoted that. And then as far as dance, when I moved back from Canada, I did teach for a while at Creative Arts and then decided I liked adults better. And that's, no, just kidding. I love children, but teaching. So that's kind of my dance journey.
You're like, teaching adults is better because we actually want to be there to
Yeah.
learn.
Yes.
Where kids are kind of, I mean, they want to be there,
No,
but
they do.
it's just different.
It's right and fun, but it's different. Yeah.
It is
Mhm.
so different. Yeah.
That's
That's why I thank my
amazing.
kids dance teachers every day. Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
You're amazing.
You're the things they deal with. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, you're awesome, Emily. Okay. So, Emily, you mentioned in your bio that you are an eating disorder survivor / thriver is what you just said. And so I love it. Can you expand on that a little bit?
Yeah.
I know a lot of dancers struggle. Let's just be honest. They struggle with that.
And
are-
non-dancers.
And non-dancers.
Mhm.
But like
Image.
body image is
Yes.
a really
I
real thing.
I mean, I think I'm dealing with it now with adults in the fitness
Mhm.
world as much as the dance world. And I just think it is like, I always say it's like the pornography of women, the epidemic or like the poison
Yeah.
of women of like self-worth and value. And that's what I do through my platform. But yeah, so I always say like, I don't think somebody sets out, okay, I am going to have anorexia. Like, I don't think that's
No.
usually how it happens. It's a small thing. And I remember how it happened for me was I was in high school. I'm dancing on the the high school drill team. And I think like, I just remember like, you're just kind of like eating a lot of weird foods. You're going out, you're eating here. I just remember kind of feeling like gross. So I was thinking like, I'm just going to try to eat healthier and clean this up or whatever. Or I just want to eat less so my stomach doesn't hurt or whatever. And then from there, it just became this quite slippery slope. And that's what it does. Even I have this thing where I always talk about, it's called the scale of the well woman. So it's like a upside down U. And it's like when someone's really unhealthy down here, like sedentary, bad diet, and they start to like that first bit to like start going walking or wherever or eat out, like that's super hard, right? And then you climb this mountain at the top. It's like when your mind, body, and soul healthy and you're working out and you're active and you're good and your mental health's good. How fast you can fall is so fast because it's a slippery slide down the other side. What happens to a lot of people is you start doing that and then you like the way you look, you like the way you feel, and it starts to get extreme. And once again, when you fall to the bottom, your health is once again a big problem on the other side of the thing. So I think that's what happened for me in high school is that I just started, less and less and less. Okay, I have this moment too. I remember they made us wear these. They were like pastel colored unitards and goes in these boxes in the front of the school for the concert. And I remember that moment of like, I feel so uncomfortable in this. Like, I don't want to feel like that. And like, that was the catalyst for me. And I think it's okay to want to be healthier, but I just think what I teach people is like, you got to be comfortable in your skin and not everybody looks the same. Like I was different, and I looked great, by the way. I was a high school girl. I had curves. It was fine. But what happened is just less and less. And I did have my coaches for the drill team did say something to my parents. One of them grew up with our family. So I think she did. And so my mom would show up to practices with food and da-da-da. But the problem with an eating disorder, and I had anorexia, less and less food and not eating. The problem with it is people can do whatever they want. But if you don't want to change or if you don't want to do it, it doesn't matter. So to make a long story short, right after high school, I moved straight to Hawaii and I did a semester of BYU Hawaii. And when I was alone without parents on my own, it got bad. It got really bad. I remember I came home from Hawaii and I think people were like in shock. I remember one of my best high school friends, Maureen, now Stoll, came to see me and she told me later that she went in her car and started crying. So my dad had said to me, he said, I was off to BYU and he goes, okay, well, I'm going to weigh you. I'm going to come down, which is so funny. I think I'm like, oh, did that help? I don't know. Maybe it kept me. I think when I started college at BYU, I just kind of stayed. Maybe I wasn't getting worse, but I don't think it matters what you look like. It's your brain. It's your brain. Someone could have full anorexia and not look like an anorexic. So I think that's important to keep in mind. It's about the prison that's inside your brain. So I was about my freshman year. Once again, Maureen lived with me and I bless her soul because she just stood by my side. And she always said, I think I gained the freshman 15 trying to get you to eat. But I just needed to come to that in my own time. So, I feel lucky that I hit a point. I remember hitting a point and saying, I want to be a mom. I want to be a wife. I want to be like someone who, I think I was still very fun and active and but I just was like, I'm not going to be able to do that. It's a very selfish disease. So I was like, I'm not going to be able to do that if I don't get myself together. And so that was a bit of a turning point for me. And then it was a bit of a roller coaster up and down, getting to the point where I am. But I can honestly say a lot of times when people struggle with that kind of stuff, I'm not perfect, but I really have tried. I've had my ups and downs, but honestly, I've really made peace with it. And that's why so much of my message, I feel like we got to a good point about 5 years ago with body image and stuff. And now it's a disaster out there. So I won't let myself get into that. But I think it is an epidemic, and especially with dancers, and because, they want to look a certain way and be a certain way. So like with my high school daughter, she grew up in has always grown up in a bigger body. And then she hit puberty, then grew, and then took an interest herself in wanting to eat healthier, move her body more. And she leaned out a lot. And I know people were like, well, people have come to me and I'm like, well, first of all, I don't want to talk. It's my daughter. I don't want to talk about her body. I don't talk about bodies. And even my kids being a fitness person, they don't think I work out to lose weight, or they're just like, that's mom's job. And we make because it's fun and joy. And that's what we're trying to do. But even then, I go on the other side and I'm like, do you have enough food? You don't have to, you got to fuel yourself. You're dancing for 15 hours. You're dancing 30 hours this week. We got to get you protein and carbs and whatever. And it's about fueling your body. And I wish people could realize how important, especially at a young age, you are an athlete.
You have to learn.
And if you fuel your body now with good foods, your metabolism is at its peak. You teach your body now how to eat a ton of food that's good. It will change your life. That's honestly, it did
That's-
steer my passion of where I am in the fitness industry and what we stand for. And we have never, we can talk about this later. I've never compromised what I stand for. I've never fallen prey to the diet industry since I've been in it. And it would be easy because the marketing agencies tell us before and after weight loss. We
Yep.
refuse to do it. You know, telling people that they're not good enough and they need to lose weight is actually a moneymaker.
Oh, yeah.
Telling people they're enough and they're beautiful the way they are, it's not so great.
Yeah.
And so it's an uphill climb, but it's something that Amber and I have always stood behind and always will. So,
Love
and I
that.
think my journey, probably why I had to go through it, is to shape that for me standing up for women today. So
Oh,
I love
that
that.
is, I would say, as like one of your participants in your class for lots of years, like I'm very appreciative of that. Like you stand for that and you hold it. And that's why I feel like you're so powerful. You and Amber, because you do go to a class and yes, like there's influencers and stuff like that, but you don't ever feel less than. Like I don't ever feel less than in your class because I feel like you really do a good job of spreading that
and I've
love.
Yeah, and I've taught fitness through all stages of like being my leanest to pregnant to 50 pounds postpartum. I showed up 3 weeks. Don't ask why I was. I mean, I was sick for 9 months. So once he was out, I was like,
Yeah, you're like,
I feel so
I'm
good.
doing it. Yeah.
But like I'm not a person that just comes back. Like I'm 45 pounds up and I was like, well, how do I get there? By moving. I love it. It brings me joy.
Yeah.
That's why we move. And I think that's like why dancers love it is those endorphins. Performing is such a powerful high. And that's kind of what we bring into what I do now. So.
Can I just ask a quick question? Advice for someone who is struggling with an eating disorder now. What would be like your very top, just simple advice to them right now?
Just say that it's not going to end well. Whatever you're doing, like this is not the key to happiness. It's not going to end well because either you're going to go so far that you're, or it really does mess up your body and your mind. And there's a point. So ask for help. Ask for help and be like, listen, I don't know what to do. I'm in here deep. The brain is a powerful thing. Ask for help and just take small steps. Just like we said, that woman scale to get back up. Small steps of trying to fuel your body. And there is a way to find that well where you feel comfortable in your skin, but it's going to take work. It's not going to be easy.
Yeah.
But that's not easy.
No.
Like fighting that mental battle every day is truly prison. I believe it. It's prison in a brain. And when I see people, it just makes me want to cry because I'm like, I don't want anyone to live in that prison.
Yeah.
And that's why it's so hard for me, but nobody can do it for you but yourself. So ask for help, for resources, but just know that you have to make that decision that it's not going to end well. So I'd rather find happiness in a different way.
Thank you. I think that's
Choose
so
your
great.
hard too.
Yeah,
you
choose
know?
your hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then someone who maybe knows someone who has an eating disorder, or like, how can we help? I know you said they have to make the decision, and I feel like that's with addiction in general, right? But like, how someone on the outside of it, how could we best help or be an advocate or support someone with an eating disorder?
It is an addiction and they don't want to be like that. And so I think it's having grace that, so just being like, well, you can do this, you can eat this, you can change this. They actually can't. Like they need the resources, whether that's professional help or whatever. So I think just loving people where they're at, trying to offer resources when it works, trying to build up their self-esteem, arm them with tools that allows them. What happens when people want to eat again is it feels scary and like they're out of control. So you shouldn't put here, you're going to eat this hamburger. It's like, how about we eat this nice chicken with like I'm just saying, like fuel is better and like getting them out of that where they can get to a healthy place where then they feel that. So, I mean,
great advice. Great advice. And like you said with Maureen, like just love and support and be there.
Yeah.
When I was ready, I remember, I think all I remember is driving down the I-15. And I said to her, I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. And I need your help. And it's like, so.
That's awesome.
And I think that's the biggest thing is like admitting that you need help and then asking. Like that's probably the hardest part.
For sure. And when you say it out loud, it's no longer the secretive. I mean, everybody knows it. Like that's the problem with that sort of thing. Everybody knows it, but when you're ready to talk about it, it takes away the shame. And also tell people there's no shame. Because everyone's been there. Every female mind has been there. So,
for sure.
And fights it. You have to bring it back.
Yeah.
Do it. Yeah.
I love that. That's really good.
Thank you so much for sharing that and being so vulnerable about something that's hard. But like you said, every woman can relate. Every Every woman has
I've
thought
met a
about
select
it.
few that are like,
Yeah.
never struggled with that. Let's get you an award.
Yes, give us
Fantastic.
all
Yeah, I
the
love that.
secrets. Okay, let's fast forward a few years. I'm going to just say a few. I know it's a little more than a few, but you've co-created such a powerful platform. Like incredible. High fitness, like we've said before, and it has a beautiful blend of dance, cardio, high energy, choreography. It is just for me personally, I hate cardio workout. I hate running. I hate doing all of it. High fitness, like I love it. The cardio in it, it's the first time I've ever enjoyed cardio in my life. And it is more than just cardio. It is a lot more, but it is like I can do cardio when before I'd hear like, I'll skip that and I'll just do like weight training or something different. And so it's actually amazing. We've kind of briefly touched on it, but how did your dance background influence you and Amber to create high fitness?
Yeah, I actually love this question because it was a huge part of it. So just a little, I'll do a quick, I know I'm long-winded. How long are these
I love it.
episodes?
However long we need
yeah.
it to be.
Yeah, we can go like months. You know?
Going back a little bit, the quick basis of how I got into fitness is when I moved to Canada, I told my mom, I'm like, I'm going to be a fitness teacher, a group fit. And she's like, okay, that's not really a job. So I was like, look, mom, I made it.
Yeah.
So I went to Canada. I didn't really have a work visa. I didn't know. I just started volunteering at like these gyms. And then somehow this gym like hired me as front desk person. I was like, please don't check my visa because my husband had a work visa and whatever. So I started just like working at the gym. Amber actually worked there. That's how we met. And she worked in membership. So she's about 10 years older than me, but she was had just gotten engaged and was getting married, around like when I moved there. And we weren't like best friends, but we were work acquaintances and stuff like that. And obviously that friendship grew as I was there. But I just worked at the front desk. I loved group fitness. Like because of dance, it was like my way to get my dance without dancing. So I always loved it. And the fitness director there was like, hey, you should take this training. And I was like, okay. So I did like my basic like AFA, ACE, like that kind of, it's like a group certification. So I did that and I started teaching. And honestly, I worked together. We had our first babies kind of around the same time. She's never felt better pregnant. I was puking in the garden. I don't hold it against her. She's like, do you want me to be your surrogate? I'm like, yeah.
Yes, please.
I'm like, that wouldn't get weird. Business partner,
Surrogate.
Why not?
It's fine.
And so that's where like I really started teaching fitness. And so while I was in Canada is where I did majority of all my certifications and all the things. And while we were there, I talked to Amber. So I obviously have a strong dance background. Amber has no dance background.
Okay.
She actually taught like yoga and did dirt biking. That was it. Choreography. So I talked her into getting Zumba certified. I'm like, it's okay. I will just, and in Zumba, a lot of times you make up your own routines. Like they don't, they have some, whereas high, it's like pre-choreographed because we want to control it a little bit. But it's like you make up your own. I'm like, I'll just make them up and then I'll give them to you. Like I'll just teach them to you. So that's kind of what we did. And so we have a really powerful story in enough our relationship because she's like a lot of competitive, just like in the dance world, the fitness world can be like, I have all these tricks. I have these things. I don't want to tell you because I want to be better than me. But I grew up with 3 older sisters. I don't have a bone like that in my body.
Yeah.
I'm like, if I knows how to do something, I'm gonna teach you how to do it. And it's what we put into our curriculum with our instructors. We want them to be the best instructors. We're gonna give them all the tools, all the secrets, all the things. So I just was like, okay, we're gonna do this, and then you're gonna do this. So we kind of started teaching these classes together, and she would take my choreography and kind of dumb it down. So fast forward, I moved back to Utah. So I'm teaching here. I'm teaching the Bountiful. Just kind of like my baby's 2 years old. My oldest baby's 2 years old. It's like a little mom job. I get up at nights. I taught all the Les Mills programs. I've taught TRX. I've taught Pilates. I mean, I've been through the gamut because I loved it. Right? And Amber, we kind of would stay in touch. So I think people think we were like bosom buddies from ever. We weren't. We were like young mom friends. We kind of keep in touch, but we weren't like fam. Like we're a family now.
You're
for life.
Yes.
And so we would keep in touch, and like I'd go up there in the summers, and I'd be like, hey, I have these routines. And she's like, oh, I was like, I've been doing a toner second in my classes, in my dance fitness classes. She's like, oh, that's interesting. What if I would like add these in? And so she kind of was like, she would take them and kind of dumb them down. And what we found is it was very successful for people that don't like to dance, but also dancers like it too. So she has like no dance background. And with my dance background, it was a perfect morph of like creating choreography that would work to the beat and worked with the music, but also keeping it simple enough. So one thing with high fitness is every song is about 4 to 5 moves and it just repeats based on like chorus, verse, bridge, And so she was actually the one that came to me, was like, pitching me ideas. And she's like, hey, so do this thing and you're going to do it with me. And I'm like, yeah, no, I'm good. I just had my second baby. She was 2 weeks old and she's like, we're going to do this. And I'm like, yeah, I'll cheer you on. Send me that tank you got going on. I got it. I'll support you. Like, it's like, I actually had never had dreams to be an entrepreneur. My husband wanted to be an entrepreneur. I'm like, I'm good. And so, but then I went up there on vacation and we kind of talked through it. And talk about one of the most spiritual experiences I've had. It was like, you have to do this.
Yeah.
And I needed that because there would be times as a young mom where I'm like, full-time working mom, like that's not what I thought I was going to do. The guilt, the shame, the leaving your kids, the whatever, like I needed that moment to be like, you're going to change lives. You have to do this. And honestly, like we had to go into it naive, blind, stupid, all the things to really go for it because we went for it. And I remember coming back. We called her on our drive home because your husband's got to be in. If her husband's got to be in, like, we're going for this. And we're like, okay. And I remember coming back to my classes as Skills Fitness, where Brooke comes to my classes. I still teach 1 class a week there because this is my home.
Yeah.
I love it. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful.
It's the best. It has such a good vibe. And I said, okay, so I'm going to do this new class. I'm no longer teaching these classes. And people are like, huh? But I built enough of a following just by like my classes. People were like, okay.
Yeah, we're
like,
coming.
Okay. And then they're like, change is hard. But then they were like, oh, this is awesome. What we wanted to create with Hive was a workout that was as fun as it was hard. People, they want a workout that's like, this is worth my time, but also like, it's got to be fun. The music has to be the driving factor. We don't use any like digitized aerobics music. It's straight music off
Songs.
iTunes.
Yeah.
Which has created a lot of problems, which we went into the business side. It's fine. It's just a lot of work. But it's like, it wanted to be fun. And that's still when you talk about like, I didn't like cardio. Still to this day, our main mission is working out should be fun. Like it's going to be challenging, it's going to be hard, but like the joy, the endorphins, it's just like dancing. Like we wanted to bring that to soccer players, people that say they have no rhythm. I would say if I had a penny for every person that said, I can't dance, so I can't do your classes, I'm like, I'd be rich over here.
Yeah.
I'm like, just come 4 times. Just come 4 times. I promise you, you will catch on. And I find that people like soccer players or athletes actually really love it so much because you don't have to have that base of dance. Yet it is a big part of it, and the choreography and the musicality and all the things. And so, and from the very beginning, our messaging, so like obviously workout side of it, we wanted it to be a good workout that got results, made people feel like it was worth it. So we worked a lot. The formula is like, warm up, toner, cardio, toner, cardio. So you're doing this ebb and flow, kind of like HIIT training disguised. But the community aspect, the mental aspect of it, everything we said we will never do before and afters. We will never do, except unless it's like depression, anxiety, meds, like things like that. We will never, talk about body image. We even stay clear of nutrition. We're very like, we're here to work out, have a good time. The proof is in the pudding, but like love yourself, show up, be who you are. I'm proud to say 11 years old. 11 years old. It is 11 years old. 11 years later, we still stand by the same messaging and have not once sacrificed that core belief of, and honestly, that's what I feel like when I talk about like, what is high fitness? I'm like, it's a self-esteem class. I don't know. Like, is it even, we always call ourselves the anti-fitness company. Cause I'm like, sure, work out, go hard. I don't care. Just come. Like, I'm just like, I think right now also social media is so toxic of like, you need to eat this and you shouldn't do this. And cardio is the devil. We had a cardio expert. Like everybody needs cardio, FYI, whether you're walking. So it's like this toxic thing. And it's like, actually, the only time you'll be successful in fitness is if you love it, if you find joy in the movement. Yeah, whatever that is. And Amber and I always say, we're like, we don't say you have to like art. We're not even saying that. Some people like it, some people love it. I mean, people may feel about high fitness how I feel about other things where I'm like, that's a no-go for me. Find something you love. Find something that brings you joy because we all need those endorphins for our mental health. I don't know. That's the fast version. That's what I got for you.
No. Honestly, I could like bear my testimony about high fitness of just all the times that it's like the last thing I want to do is go work out. And like I struggle with anxiety and depression and just different times in my life where I am like in a really bad low or whatever. And literally the last thing I want to do is work out. But honestly, like, and I don't even mean to be emotional, but here I am, the community that high fitness brings and pushing yourself. I think as women or like a mom, I'm a stay-at-home mom and I have been for years. Yeah, raising kids is hard. Knowing that I can go to a high fitness class and it's hard and I walk out of there like it is hard for me. I push myself like I've never pushed myself before and like I feel accomplished. I feel like like, I'm proud of myself, instead of like, oh, I'm proud of myself because I've done laundry and dishes and took kids all the places, like that's everyday things. And I leave that class, like, my self-esteem when I leave is like so, so good. So thank you for giving me that because I love it. Now, if we can just get you to come down and
To
do it.
skills?
Yeah, to skills.
Yes, I'll come. I'll
Yeah.
come. Is there anything in Ogden?
Yes,
Oh,
tons.
yeah.
I'll
I
send you
know.
some
I
good-
just need to go
Absolutely.
out where I'm at.
Yeah.
I think the thing is there's something powerful in a fitness community. You can also, when you show up to a class that someone else is going to kind of like create that environment. Like you don't have to put in the work. You don't have to be like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do?
Yes.
Someone brings that energy. It's contagious energy. Other people in the room are contagious. I always laugh. I'm like, we don't know these people like beyond like a smiling in a weekend. It's like, but somehow they're cheering you on, them moving, build you. It is such a thing that really can make all the difference. I think Amber's dad passed away kind of suddenly, at a younger age a few years ago. And she's like, we've heard stories, of people like through grief and whatever, and it saved them. And she's like, and now I'm here living it. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't have to get up and do my classes and be there. It's like, I couldn't, it really did save me in my grief. And I think that's what's so powerful about movement, and I've seen, retired dancers come back and take adult dance classes. And it's like, we are built to move. We're built to connect with music. And it's powerful in these communities. You start to really, like, now all my best friends are from my classes. People are like, how do you know? I'm like, they've started coming to my class. I'm a best friend. Like,
Yeah.
like, it's nothing beyond that. Like, I think it's just like you create these, you're sweating together, you're making these endorphins, and it really is so powerful. And women need connection.
Yeah, they
We
really do.
connection. And we feel selfish sometimes to take that time. It is not selfish to take that hour, to take that 2 hours, to take the trip, to take the girls' night, to take the, that's not for me. Either the kids in the daycare or they're gone and I'm going. That hour is so important. It gets my endorphins going. And we've seen that literally. We used to say that women would come in and it's like Stella got her groove back.
Actually, I
We
love
just
that.
needed those endorphins and that confidence that you said to be like, I did that. I did that. And I think that's a really powerful thing.
Well, and just kind of to go along with it, like saying how women need it. I mean, I go to my normal, regular family doctor, right? He prescribes my antidepressant and my anti-anxiety medication. And he's like writing down on a piece of paper, this is your prescription to go work out.
Oh, yeah.
I don't care what it is. He's like, I wish I could write a prescription and people would follow it religiously more than a pill or more than whatever. He's like, this is your number one
I love
is
that.
movement. I don't care if it's going for a walk. But the thing I love about high fitness, like you said, is I just have to show up. I don't have to think
You just,
because then that's easy for me to talk myself out of. Like, well, I got to come up with a workout plan. I got to do this. Like, oh, and then I'm like, I'm tired. I'm done. I've walked for 15 minutes on the treadmill and I'm done.
You got someone else like keeping you accountable,
Keeps
keep you
me,
going.
yeah. And so I am very grateful for you. So I know it's hard, but you make showing up to every single one of your classes and all of your events so effortless. I know it's not always easy, but how do you do that? How do you always show up like performance ready or stage ready?
It is hard. It is hard. I have a lot of things going on, kids, especially like just even sometimes those mornings, like this morning, my daughter was being such a sass. I'm gonna say sass. Brat, so that word.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh my gosh. And then I think one of the things that helps is that I love it. I truly love what I get to do. I think people are like, are you still teaching those classes? I'm like, yeah, that's the fun part. I don't want to sit in a desk and be a CEO. I want to pass that out. I love teaching. Like I said, like this is what I'm born to do. I love it. So that is obviously good. But I think it's hard because people don't realize as a fitness instructor, as a dancer, as a choreographer, you put in hours behind the scenes, which I'm willing to do because I love it. But I think people think, even me, like you made those up, you do it. Oh no, I got 700 routines in this. I have to study more now than ever, like every night for at least an hour or two. And then in the mornings, I'm listening, I'm rehearsing, So there's a lot of prep there, which is great, keeps my mind young and that. But I think I like having to show up. It forces you. And then once that music kicks in, I always say there's nothing a warm up can't kill. I'm like, I always say that one time, some like early morning classes, I'm like, you guys, we just got to make it through the warm up. And then we're all like,
We're ready to go.
So I remember saying sometimes my classes are a little bit easier, but like a full day training events where I know I have on and being a bit of I don't want to call myself a public figure, but a bit in that world.
Very much so.
if I'm not on, I'm cocky. So there is like this thing where if I'm having a bad day, like it's kind of rough because I get categorized as that. So I remember there's been times I remember specifically walking into a training in Texas and like my friend was in the car next to me and I was like, okay, let's go. I was like, for the next 8 hours, like I have to be on. And it is like mentally taxing, and it is. But I do think that I get a huge reward. The people I get to meet, the people I get to interact with that I would never meet otherwise, the energy coming back at me. Some days it's tough, man. I'm giving my all and people are giving me nothing. And that is hard.
Yeah.
I mean, I've done it for so long that I can carry a class with nobody's like dead silence and I'm still crazy. That's not normal. Most people that's hard for. But I think it is hard because we all have our problems. And I think people need to give people grace with that. Yeah. So sometimes it's a bit exhausting. And I think sometimes like after those things, my husband knows that I'm just like, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk. I talk too much. And there's just a lot. Running a business is very stressful. It's very hard. And I never get to escape it. So it's my 24/7. And so a lot of times that plays into my moods with my children that I have to try to compartmentalize, say like, I'm so sorry. Like, I just need to deal with this, like, because they'll be in the middle of something where I should be paying attention to them. But the anxiety, like, of something that's happening is just weighing on me. And I've learned to communicate a little bit better. So they're not like, you're ignoring me. Why aren't you know? I'll be like, oh, my mind is 5 years away right now because I'm stressed. But like I said, I think the end, like, reward that I give back is worth it. But I think if I did love what I did, it would be really hard. But I'm so grateful that. And I am like a genuinely happy, positive person. So like that goes a long way. Like it's a rare occasion that I'm like, I don't want to be here. It's because I am like an extrovert and I'm social. So it helps. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not for everybody.
Yeah, I don't know if I could show up every single day. You know, I show up to my 2 classes at Skills Fitness and I don't have to perform. So I just show up literally, you know, and
You'd be surprised. Like
I like
what you
to
get
be-
out of it is like even more full. So it's like the reward on the other side is really,
and you love it.
I love it.
You love it, and that's why you do it.
Yeah, for sure.
That
Yeah,
is-
I like that.
That is awesome. Hey, let's switch to mom gear. You're a mom of 3, the cutest and most beautiful kids. They're so darling. Which is a full-time job.
Yeah.
In and of itself. I mean, we're all moms.
Yeah.
It never ends.
It never ends.
Have you seen like that? Is it like it's not a meme, but the video of like they're hiring. Have you seen it? And that's usually over Christmas time or maybe by Mother's Day. And they're like, you work 40 hours or whatever, like
24 hours a day.
7 days a week.
No
you
pay.
don't,
Yeah, no pay.
no pay. You get to do all of this, blah, 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 and it's like, oh, what is that job? It's a mother, you know?
So true.
How do you do that? How do you do it all?
I think that I was actually thinking the other day, I have been like so bad on social media, like have not shown my face. And I'm like, because I'm barely surviving right now with like couples and sports. Like it is a rat race from, whenever.
Well, when school starts and all the sports and all the
like,
dance and all the stuff
it's just-
starts.
If I'm exhausted lately, like I think we're all in similar stages of life. One thing I have to remember is it's stages. So every stage has been very different of like where I am in business and where I am in mom. And it's very much ebbed and flowed. There's been times where my husband's worked full-time jobs. There's been times where he's been home more. There's been I have a very supportive husband who is very helpful, but there's times when he's more involved more and not involved, here and there. There's been times where I've had summer nannies. There's been times where I haven't had help for quite a while because of, they're older. But I think it's hard. It was when I started, I did everything. I was the bookkeeper. I was the social media manager. I was all the things. And I had these little kids, which in a way sounds sad because sometimes like Andy's life, I'm like, that was a blur. It's like the first couple of years, I'm like, what did I do? But also, I think it's more important she remembers me now in her life.
Yes.
Than back then. Like she won't remember.
She
that.
doesn't
so
remember.
So I've had to drop all mom guilt.
Yeah.
All mom guilt because otherwise you'd be living in this cycle. Because I think it is important for our kids to see us show up places and to show up and work hard and to have to sacrifice and have to leave. They see that and sometimes they might get resentful. They might cry. They might do this. But it does build character because that is with the way of the world. A lot of homes are 2-income working homes, right? Just because of life expense. So I think that's gotten more normal than when I first started. And there's been times when things are completely out of whack and crazy. But yeah, I have never once worked in an office. I have 100% worked full-time as a mom and running high
Mhm.
fitness since it started. And it's a bit of a mess. I will say now it's much better because my kids go to school. I teach my classes. I try to get majority of meetings and bulk work done till they get out of school. And then that's when I know I'm kind of a bit off for a minute.
Yeah.
You know, there's all these things, driving all the crumbles. And then I usually settle in, do some more work later while they're at lessons and ebb and flow. You know, when you run a business, you never end. So it's like you're always texting this. And that's just been honestly in the last year that I've had a bit of a rhythm. Even this last summer, I was like, I think that was the first time I have had some sort of life thing. But I just think, I don't know, I've made a lot of mistakes. I've been, you know, work too much, mom too much. Feel like there's the pull of like, I'm not doing enough for the business when I'm playing with my kids and that. And so there's no such thing as balance. I'm not perfect. I'm proud of myself for surviving the last 11 years and hope my kids won't be in too much therapy.
No, we
They're gonna
all
be in some
know.
therapy. That's okay.
We all know our kids are going to be in therapy for some
Yeah, they're
nonsense,
gonna
Something,
right?
yeah.
some ammo.
I know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I like that my kids see me push through the hard. I think it's important. A while ago, my daughter, who I think my middle one's the hardest on me, she's spitfire. Not teacher, it was like a teacher that fills in, school counselor person, sent me a DM and she said, I needed to tell you this. We were having a lesson on grit and explaining what grit was. We were talking about celebrities and different people who have grit. And she said, Andy popped up her hand and said, my mom has a lot of grit. And I was like, that is honestly like the greatest. She said, she cries a lot. Because she only has one business partner. She has to do a lot, but she always just keeps going. I was like, okay, so she doesn't hate me too much. And that for me was like a moment where I was like, I screenshot it and I was like, oh, like if I teach my kid like this, she understood when they described grit, and that's what something she you know, thought of me. I mean, I was like, well, now I'm gonna cry some more. Yeah, you sent me that. I do cry a lot. It was a hard year. Last year was a hard year for me, and I probably cried more, you know, between just like workplace dynamics, people, personalities. I work with 20 women. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a lot, and I take on a lot of it. So, but I was like, okay, that's, you know, that was a compliment to me. So just know that if you're feeling like you're dropping the balls and everything, that as long as the main memory, they remember you being there and being a constant in their life, that's all that matters.
And also they're seeing you doing something that you love, and it's not easy. It's hard. And like you said, the grit, like that is going to carry with your kids, you know, forever. Like that, honestly, I feel like that's better than any education that you can go and pay for. Like just seeing your parents like doing hard things and doing things that they love, I feel like that is so huge for kids to see.
We had a lot of years where we didn't have a traditional, sometimes dad's doing the cooking and then mom's doing the cooking and they're doing the driving and he's off to work and I'm home more. And it's evolved and it's changed so much throughout even their growing up. Like my oldest daughter would say, there's been different stages in her life, but they just remember their parents being there for certain things. They'll remember the birthday I missed. I'll tell you that.
Yeah,
They still rub it in.
They will.
My 10th birthday, you were gone.
No.
Did we not have a party? What do you remember from your parents? Not everything.
Not
it's
everything.
the overwhelming feeling of what they felt.
Yeah.
And that's what you have to remember.
Like they were loved, they were wanted, you know, they were cared for, that their needs were met.
Yeah.
I think I would agree. Like you remember your parents as hardworking, always like sacrificing so that you, like as kids, can do what you need to do or whatever it is. And
or you'll realize it when you're older.
Yeah, that's what, I don't think I realized it necessarily as a kid, but as I get older, I'm like,
Well, and then we're talking about mom guilt. I mean, not everyone has like their partner helping, you know what I mean? But like, yes, we all get the mom guilt, you know, for not being with our kids 24/7, but they also get to experience being with the other parent. You know what I mean? When
or other adults
in their life.
Teachers,
Yes.
nannies, friends,
Grandparents,
they learn
whatever.
so much more from that. We're the only influence in their life. That's actually a disservice to them.
It is. Yeah.
So I think people, like, that's not realistic. Do you remember your mom being around all the time?
No. Yeah.
What are they doing? Yeah. We were playing all the time. I feel like we are around so much with our kids.
I know.
I know my mom was doing who knows
Go
what.
do whatever you need to
And
do.
we were all just doing our thing. And so I think it's kind of a different standard these days. But think about the way that other adults can impact my children's life is, you know, a gift, I think. Right.
Oh, I'm actually so grateful for it because I only know so much and can do so much. You know what I mean? And I'm like, I know there's many people out there that can do it way better than I can, or that can touch my kids in a certain way better than I ever will. So I feel like we need to give ourselves a little bit of grace. You know what I mean? And just like you said, like let go of the mom guilt.
Yeah.
You know,
I
like
actually really love that
yeah, me too.
coming from you, because I mean, you look at you, you are a pretty influential person, and it's very influential, I should say. But like, okay, like if you can do what you do and not have the mom guilt, not that that's a bad thing. I'm not, but just be like,
It's always there.
I'm confident. You know, you're confident in saying, I show up when I can, and my kids know
Yeah.
that I am there when I can. I love that
It's
so
my
much.
number one priority, but there's just
Sure.
things, or even like, and I'm not even saying work, guys. You get invited
Yeah.
on a killer trip, you take
You're
that
gonna
trip.
go.
Yes.
Life
Yep.
is short, and they need to see you doing fun things.
Mhm.
They need to see you hanging out with your friends. They need to see you. Like, it's such a vital part, because it's connection, once again, to that
Mhm.
connection that we need as women.
Mhm.
And so, I think mom feels stupid. We're always going to feel that, like, little bit. You know, I was telling you guys as I walked in, I'm like, I've had to miss like every lacrosse game for my son, because I happened to have a bunch of back-to-back weekends. He doesn't really care. He'd call me and tell me about it. I'm going to be at like, I come to some practices and I'm going to be at 1 or 2 games. He will not remember. I'm going to promise you that, right?
Mhm.
So it's like, it want to be there.
Yes.
Yes.
We want to watch our kids do that, but it's not,
Mhm.
they don't care.
No.
Yeah.
They're
As I'm driving home from St. George, and my son, I said, he called me for the game, and I said, hey, you're going to score a goal for me. So he calls me back. He's 7, first grade. He sounded like a grown adult. He goes, hey, Mom, not only did I score 1 goal, but I scored 13. Which I was like, really?
How?
He's like, yeah, and we really did. It was
That's
just like,
so
it
cute.
was so funny the way you said it. And I was like, that will be like a core memory for him, getting to call me. And like, so, and then I was teasing him. I'm like, okay, so now when I'm at the game, are you going to do that again? You always need to do things when I'm not
When you're
there.
not
Like,
there,
Yes,
yeah.
I
Oh,
love
that's
that.
cute.
That
Not
is so
only
sweet.
I
Not
score
only,
one.
that is so darling. Okay, moving on. We're going to kind of start closing things out. But we have a lot of dancers, teachers, parents, creative minds that are listening, and people who might be wondering how to stay on stage or to stay present in life, let's just say. And especially how we were just talking, it pulls you all directions, all the things. What would you say to them? Can we just start and go like one by one? Is that okay?
Yeah.
Like dancer. Okay, like you have two dancer girls. What would your go-to advice be to a dancer?
So one of the biggest things I say to my girls is, I'm like, as long as you love it, we'll keep doing it. The second you don't love it, we're done. The
Yeah.
time, the money, the things. And it has to be because you like it in the now, not for what's going to come, because you could blow out a knee. You could be, you don't know, in 5 years, you could be burnt out. Like, I think a lot of people lose sight of the now. So enjoy the now, and like the joy that dancing brings you, and make sure you're at a good amount of hours or things you're doing that, like, because one of her dance teachers said the other day, I've been dancing for 30 years and I still love dance. That's what we want for your dancers. And I think that people don't get caught up in the rat race of like what you're seeing online or the conventions or whatever, because it's the long game. Love it forever. So that's what I tell my girls. I don't care. You're done after high school. Great. We've spent all that money. Great. It was in character development, discipline, all the things. That's what we're there for. So
I
Yeah.
actually love that so
Yeah.
much, because everything. I'm not going to say dance. I'm not going to just say sports. It all is so competitive.
So-
Where we live, it is like you have to start them in the womb. Honestly, if you want them
Sign 'em
to
up.
be anything, like
Yeah.
you got to do that now. Preschool. Yeah, exactly. But it's like, I actually really appreciate that, because it is hard. And you're like, oh, well, are they going to miss out? What if they want to do this in high school? Or what if they don't want to do this?
I say to the dance moms all the time. For what?
Yes.
For what? Like, I'll repeat that. And we have to remind them, why are we doing this? For what? Maybe a high school dance team. I mean, I like, and like, great if someone goes on, but you have to realize that's maybe the end all be all. So you have to make sure that that's worth it. To me, great, whatever, for now. So keep that in perspective.
I think this is a very unbiased opinion, I feel like, and we can totally cut this out, but
No.
my daughters don't dance. Like,
Yeah.
I put them in dance and they both hated it.
Yeah.
And so I was like, well, I'm not going to spend the money. I'm not going to force them. Like, it actually was like heartbreaking for me, because dance was like my life. Like, ballet was like, that is what my whole life was about, you know? And it broke my heart when they were like, this sucks. I'm not going to go.
Ballet's boring.
Yeah. And, or like, I'm like, okay, let's do another type of dance. But they didn't like any of it. And so why are we forcing our kids to do things when it's like, when it was something that we loved, why are we trying to force our kids to do it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, or a lot of times we're doing sports or dance or whatever it is because our parents did it.
Yeah.
And so, like, why are we making them do this stuff? And they're miserable.
They have to keep the
They
love.
have to love
They
it.
have to love it.
And what's interesting is the 2 tracks my daughters have been on have been polar opposite, which has now ended them in a similar place. But one was very slow to grow, and like she almost quit a while
Yeah.
ago, and then really hit her stride, and she started peaking in high school, which I'm like, that's
great.
amazing.
Yeah.
It was like a fast out the gate,
Yeah.
hardcore. Just I'm like, she'll probably be the one that ends up quitting. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, you just never know. And
Yeah.
so it's like, let them guide the journey. And I think it's hard to not get wrapped up to what, if you're a dancer, get wrapped into that. And as a dance mom, to not get sucked into that. You have to be very mindful.
Yes.
And I think because I have such like a broad view of women in general, of what I do, I'm always trying to be the voice of reason.
Yeah.
But
Like, why? What is your why? Exactly.
Oh,
I love that.
I love
Yeah.
that so much.
I think it's so important as a parent, though, to keep that in mind. Just for yourself and then for your kids. Why are we doing any of that? Why are we doing this? So, no matter what it is.
Is that your same advice for parents also?
I kind of gave my parent
Okay.
I
That's-
think it's like, let them guide the journey and remember, like, for what, like at the end of the day, you know,
For what? I love that.
Me too.
So,
because it's so easy to get sucked in.
so easy.
Just trying to have a broader perspective.
Okay, teachers.
Dance teachers.
Dance teachers or coaches or, yeah,
Well, can I say something that drives me nuts?
sure.
I run
Absolutely.
unfiltered.
No, I love
I
it.
don't
Like it.
like when a dance teacher has like a dancer at one point in their life, like say they're 6 or 7, and puts them in that box and keeps them there through the years, even though they grow and change as a dancer, or say they're a little crazier when they're younger and then they kind of grow out of it, but they're put in this box. That's one of my biggest pet peeves. Is like, I wish every teacher just like constantly kept an open mind, because they're all changing and growing a lot. And a lot of times they zero in on like who they were when they first started teaching them. And so, you know, that's one thing that I did. But I just bow down to dance teachers. They're amazing. I try to thank mine regularly, just to say like, hey, thank you because my kids spend more time with them after school than with me.
Yeah.
And that is very important. It's molding them into who they are. And I think that goes to show there's a reason why I'm at the studio I am, and we all have our teachers that we know are a good influence on our children. And I think that's really important. So I'm grateful for dance teachers.
Oh, for sure.
They are
Yeah.
so
They're
great.
And I don't mind when a dance teacher reprimands my kid. I am all about that. It's like we said, other adults parenting our in a respectful way.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
really, they will learn things from that then.
Than you could ever teach them. Yeah,
Yeah.
I totally agree with that. And I feel like teachers or coaches, they can pull things out of kids. You know, I could sit there and read with my kids, certain kids, and they'll never learn how to read because it's me doing
I
it.
experienced one of mine was
And then it's like, oh, you give them someone else, they read with someone else, and all of a
Here
sudden
they are
they're
learning, like they can read
they
in
can read.
2 weeks. You're
Yes.
like,
And I'm like,
what?
I've spent years, you
I'll
know.
say it with teachers. One thing I'm super grateful for advice, if you can make the girls feel seen. I think that is one of the most important things. There's a reason why certain coaches thrive and why people are drawn to them, is because they can still be super strict, super like demand, but when they make each girl feel seen and like they matter in some sort of way, I think that's super important.
I love that.
I love that. I think too that helps us get away from growing up as a dancer, we all know, like, you compare yourselves. You're always constantly comparing yourself. And also as a teacher, there are kids in your class where, like, you know, clearly their technique is better or their stage presence is better. And so, like, as a teacher, you do tend to like kind of like single them out to be like, this is where we want to be. But that does create a little bit of like a lot of issues. So it is so important as a teacher to like make sure that everyone is being seen. You know what I mean?
That's the natural thing. There's always going to be
Yeah.
better.
Yes. Oh, always.
Remember, the girls already know that.
Yeah. Yep.
They know who's the best on the team. They know who's going to be front and center. They already know that. And most times they're usually okay with it. So still motivate the other ones to improve without like it being all about that one person.
Yeah.
You know, because they already know that. So as long as you make them feel seen and that you're wanting them to improve, that's all that matters.
Yeah,
That's just
for
a
sure.
natural evolution of
Totally.
what a classroom will always.
We're going to just do fast lightning round.
Okay.
Okay. So here we go. Just say whatever comes to your mind first, I guess. What is your go-to pump-up song?
Okay, this is so hard for me because music is like my nice flex.
Yes.
But I'd say like anything Whitney Houston. But like I love Emotions by Mariah Carey. Like I could do that in every high class. Like I love that song. But
I love
weirdly
that.
enough, you guys, I like a good like gospel Christian song. Blasted. Is that bizarre? Maybe
Really?
because
I
listen
love
to
that.
so much like me.
I love
Sometimes
that.
like the emotional, like I just want to turn.
You just need
So
to
sometimes
be
like a ballad is like my pump up song, like a good Adele that you can like,
Okay.
or like the Sam Smith that you can like sing at the top of your lungs.
I love that. I would not have expected that
I
from
know.
you.
I
So
love it.
I love that. Every class you teach almost literally every day.
Yeah.
What do you do to get ready? What's your pre-class ritual?
Alani and not the whole thing, okay, or a mini some Alani and a protein ball. I eat that before every class. It's like my magic sauce. But I would say just like I'm always like listening. Like in the mornings, my kids know it's annoying. My playlist is playing. Like I'm just like if I'm driving to my faraway class, I'm listening to it. I don't have like the same ritual because I'm usually getting my kids out the door.
But it's your Alani and Cozy Spoonful. So good. They're my favorite.
It's a winning combo.
I haven't gotten on the Alani bandwagon.
Me either.
I think I've tasted it
they
once.
have mini ones,
Oh,
which are great because then it's like a little not too much.
not as
yeah.
Oh, I might have
I'm
to
like
try that.
ADHD, so caffeine doesn't really affect me.
Yeah,
It's
me
more like
neither.
the bubble that I like a little to settle my stomach in the morning.
That's how I am. Yeah, I'm like, where's my Coke?
Yeah.
So I can settle the fizz.
Yeah,
But I
really
feel
does.
really guilty like drinking. My go-to used to be Dr. Pepper, but I'm trying to have less sugar because it had to be straight Dr. Pepper.
I
So
don't
now
feel
I
guilty
do
about it
Diet
at all.
Mountain Dew. That's the only diet I can do. But isn't it weird that you have to have that? And I can't drink that before high fitness because that's not going to do it for me.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have to try it. Little mini. I love it. Perfect. Okay. What is the most embarrassing moment of being on stage?
Okay, honestly, I was saying to my husband, I was like, I've done so many embarrassing things. Like, I don't get embarrassed. Like, the amount of weird things I've said, the amount of times I've been on a stage and done that. So, like, high fitness, I can't really say because I've fallen off stages, I've tripped, I've done the wrong thing. Like, I don't know. I don't really get embarrassed, but I can dancing growing up. One time I was doing like a dance routine. We're at Woods Cross. I can vividly remember this being like a showcase. And I did like a down and then your leg goes up behind you, dip down. And my costume would have like come off, but right before that, the move before it was like this. And it was unhooked. So I was about, and I was like at an older age.
Yeah.
Not
I
little.
have my costume and like run off stage. And I remember just being mortified. Like I can vividly picture it. So that was probably like one of my most embarrassing like dance moments. But I think I do embarrassing things every day. Like I do the weirdest crap, and I'm like, that is nuts. And so I think I've gotten past
you're gotten past that, which is honestly amazing.
It's
So
very
I wish
good.
we could all live that way.
Yeah,
and
I
just
know.
like,
things I say is more embarrassing than like other things.
But having your costume is like you have nightmares of that.
Oh,
Like I
yeah, I
still
know.
do of being on stage and
Oh.
like forgetting choreography or
Yes.
having a costume malfunction.
I always have nightmares like
I
that.
cannot start my high fitness class. I'll be there and like nothing will work. And like everyone's waiting and I'm just like a nightmare. And I'm just like, I'm trying. It's the same as like getting on stage, forgetting your choreography. I now have that.
Yes.
Oh,
Mine is literally with Benet Arnold. Like,
okay. Did you
during
ever do the
Nutcracker,
Nutcracker?
No,
like going on and forgetting the choreography and then her being so mad that I
That you
forgot.
forgot.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, she was
that lives
mean.
with you forever.
Yeah.
I know. And I literally still have nightmares
An
like
actual
that.
fear.
Mhm.
And you're a grown woman.
Yeah.
I was gonna say
Bless her
a
heart.
swear word,
She's,
but
yeah.
rest in peace,
Yes.
Benet. You're amazing. Okay, favorite dance style.
Contemporary or jazz? Yeah.
I
I love
have to
watching
agree.
my daughters do
Oh.
like contemporary stuff.
Me
They're
too.
such both beautiful dancers.
It's fun to watch them shine in different ways.
What's your favorite to dance?
Dude, can I call myself dancer anymore? I'd say I was probably best at like jazz and stuff.
Awesome. Love it. Okay. And I mean, you've already kind of said this, but maybe you have another one in mind. The mom moment that made you proud.
I will say the mom moments that have made me really proud is you guys know like the toxic at conventions when they get the scholarship and they either come out and they didn't or they did or whatever.
Ugh.
And I'm not saying other kids crying. It's fine. Like I would probably cry too if I didn't get one. But somehow my girls have been really good and grounded that they come out and they're like, yeah, I didn't get it or whatever. And there was a long time where my daughter, Andy, was on a very competitive team. And she was like, for a year at all these conventions, she was like the only one on her team that didn't get one. And she would just like come out and be like, yeah, it's okay. Like I'd be nervous. And that was like a very proud mom moment for me. And I remember people saying like, how do you get them not to cry? I'm like, I don't know. Like, I think I just try to say like, hey, you could be the best dancer in the room. You could be the worst. They somehow are connected to someone, But then what was so rewarding is then when she got one, you should have seen her team. And then once she got the rhythm of it,
cool.
it's like you learn how to, but like, I'm like, there'll be times where you could get them everything. Like, it's not about you as a person. It's not about your worth. It's not about your skill. It's about, what they're looking for at the moment. I try to instill that. And so like, just having them like keep it grounded in those moments has made me really proud.
I love that.
I
That's
do too.
awesome.
I love that so much.
Well, Emily, thank you so much for sharing your story, your heart, and your energy with us today. You're a force. And I know our listeners are going to walk away feeling very inspired after hearing all of this. Thank you so much for tuning into the Keeping You On Stage podcast. Be sure to subscribe, share this episode with your friends, and keep that fire for dance alive. And keep sharing your light and keep shining. And until next time, happy dancing.